When I got to secondary school, I started to be very anxious. And each morning I would have a horrible, horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach, and I'd have to go to the loo about 3 times before I could catch the coach to go to school. There was one time during my first year at secondary school where I refused to go to school, and my mum couldn't stay at home with me, and I didn't really know why, and I didn't tell her about it. So I stayed with a neighbour for the day. That seemed to go. My secondary school was a very, very demanding, had a very, very demanding atmosphere to it. We were we were expected to get very high grades for O-levels and A-levels and go on to university. There were very, very high pressures, very, very high demands put on us as girls.
I'm John Howard, I'm 61 years old. I was born and raised in Sidcup, South East London, and spent most of my life in business. I did do an engineering apprenticeship, and that helped me in my career, but I didn't like working in factories, so I realised that sales jobs involved a company car which was free, so I was much attracted to that idea, and I started to make a career in sales, and I became pretty effective. And but I didn't know at the time that I was bipolar. In fact, I was only diagnosed correctly 3 years ago.
It could be mum and dad have just had an argument and it would upset me so much to the extent I'm thinking, oh my God, they're getting divorced. Oh my God, how can I fix this? And it was completely upsetting for me. Things used to upset me quite a lot. I was, I think, probably a very, very emotional child. And I think my father was always there to support me, and he always knew. The move from Kenya and then coming to live here independently, I think that was pretty hard, because otherwise you always have your family, you always had mum and dad. But it was pretty different. I'd never been in another country on my own. And I think it was pretty hard, yeah. I used to cry over the phone every weekend. And, wanted to go home straight away and be with mum and dad. And I think that first year I remember that I was just absolutely homesick throughout.